They call it the end of the road, but for those who reach it, it feels like a beginning. This is Tofino, where the land ends and the wild begins. On the western edge of Canada, between rainforest and ocean, every wave writes a new story. This isn't just a destination, it's a revelation. Tofino stands on the ancestral land of the Clayoquot First Nation, a place where every inlet and cedar tree carries a name, a spirit, a story. Long before explorers or highways, this coast was alive with songs of the sea and sky. The land is not owned here. It is shared, guarded, and respected. That's where the Tofino story truly begins. There's only one road that leads here, a ribbon of asphalt carved through rainforests and cliffs. As you drive, the world falls away behind you. The air thickens with salt, and you begin to feel it, the pull of the Pacific. Reaching Tofino isn't just travel. It's pilgrimage. Tofino is small, barely 2,500 people, but it breathes like a giant. A fishing town turned surf haven, where artists, chefs, and wanderers coexist at the edge of the map. In summer, it swells with thousands. In winter, it retreats to whispers and waves. Tofino is more than a town, it's a balance. Between chaos and calm, between old ways and new dreams. This is the concept of the edge, to live where things meet, to find meaning where land meets infinity. Long Beach is Tofino's heartbeat, 16 kilometers of sea and sky. Each wave that breaks here has crossed an ocean to arrive. People come not just to surf, but to listen, because the Pacific speaks in thunder and silence. In Tofino, surfing isn't a sport, it's survival. The water is cold, the waves unpredictable, yet every dawn, they paddle out. Against wind and current, they chase something bigger than adrenaline, a moment of peace in motion. Despite its size, Tofino tastes like the world. From wild-caught halibut to handmade pastries, every meal feels like art. Here, chefs cook with conscience, using what the ocean offers and giving back what it needs. The food tells the same story as the land, sustainable, soulful, and free. Tofino doesn't just sit by the sea, it hides in a rainforest. The Pacific Rim National Park Reserve is a cathedral of green. You don't walk here, you listen. The forests speak softly, in rain and roots. Clayoquot Sound, the lungs of the island. Here, water moves like breath. The tides cradle life, salmon, whales, otters, eagles. Everything here is connected, and so are you, if you take the time to feel it. In 1992, Wayne Adams and Catherine King built a dream, a floating home called Freedom Cove. Off the grid, powered by sunlight and hope, it floats like a message in a bottle. A symbol that harmony with nature isn't fantasy, it's a choice. In winter, Tofino becomes a theater of storms. Travelers come not to escape them, but to witness, to feel the roar of the Pacific colliding with the soul. Storm watching here isn't passive, it's pilgrimage through chaos. Tofino's heart beats through its people, resilient, humble, and wild at heart. Many came here to start over, to simplify, to reconnect. What unites them isn't where they're from, but what they seek: balance. Each season brings celebration. The Whale Festival in March marks migration and renewal. Summer markets fill the air with music and ocean breeze. Even as events come and go, the spirit remains, joy in rhythm with the sea. Every spring, 20,000 gray whales pass by this coast. They've followed the same route for millennia, long before Tofino existed. Watching them, you understand how small you are and how timeless nature truly is. April brings the Shorebird Festival, a migration of wings. They travel thousands of miles from South America to Alaska, pausing here, at the edge. In their rest, there's beauty. In their movement, a lesson. All journeys need stillness. In September, Tofino crowns its champions, not by gender or fame, but by courage. The Queen of the Peak Surf Championship celebrates women who surf not to conquer, but to connect. Here, empowerment rises from the sea. On Saturday nights, the Tofino market hums with creativity. It's not just commerce, it's community. Here, stories are traded as often as crafts, and every smile feels like home. In Tofino, rain isn't weather, it's a way of life. It baptizes the forest, feeds the rivers, soothes the restless. Locals don't wait for it to stop. They walk in it, live in it, love it. After the storm comes stillness, but not silence. The ocean exhales, the land glistens. It's in these moments that Tofino reveals its greatest truth. Beauty isn't in perfection, but persistence. Tofino wasn't always peaceful. Logging, overfishing, and conflict once scarred this coast. But nature endures, and so does community. The town has learned. Healing begins where respect is restored. For over 3 decades, Poole's land stood as a dream, an eco-commune built on freedom, love, and rebellion. It became legend, then memory. But its spirit of living lightly, kindly, still floats in Tofino's air. In 2015, tragedy struck when a whale-watching vessel capsized. 6 lives lost. It was a reminder. Nature's power is not cruelty, but equality. The sea gives and takes with the same hands. Every summer morning, fog blankets Tofino. Flights pause. Silence reigns. And in that pause, you realize, nature runs the schedule here, not man. Technically, the Trans-Canada Highway ends in Victoria. But spiritually, it ends here. Every road, every journey, leads to this point, the western edge of a continent, where the map gives way to mystery. North of Tofino lies Maquina, a sanctuary of stone and steam. Reachable only by boat or plane, it feels untouched. You step into the hot springs and feel it, Earth's heartbeat beneath your feet. Tofino isn't about roads, it's about tides. Boats and float planes connect what highways can't. In a world obsessed with speed, this coast teaches a slower rhythm, one of tides, time, and trust. Tofino receives over 3 meters of rain each year. To outsiders, it's extreme. To locals, it's life. The rain is not a curse, it's a blessing in motion. Everyone comes here looking for something: adventure, escape, peace. But Tofino doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you need. And sometimes, that's the wild inside yourself. Tofino's greatest transformation isn't in tourism, it's in consciousness. From conservation to culture, it's rewriting what living beautifully means. Here, progress isn't louder. It's quieter. The whales leave every spring, but they always return. Like them, travelers drift away, only to be called back. Because once Tofino touches you, part of you belongs to the tide. Tofino is proof that small places can have big souls. Here, everyone knows everyone, and that's the magic. In a world growing louder, Tofino whispers. At night, the Pacific glows with secrets, stars above and below. You paddle through the dark, and the water lights your path. The universe, it seems, remembers this place. Every sunrise feels like forgiveness. The mist lifts, the waves soften, and life begins again. The Pacific never forgets, but it always forgives. The rainforest doesn't need to speak to be heard. It teaches patience, humility, balance. In its quiet wisdom, you find your own reflection. Tofino's soul is not in its scenery, it's in its spirit. The unity between land, people, and sea is not decoration, it's identity. This is how a small town becomes a symbol. Look west, and there's nothing left but water. Look east, and there's everything you've come from. Between them stands Tofino, a reminder that sometimes the edge is exactly where you're meant to be. Leaving Tofino feels impossible because you don't really leave. The tide pulls at you, softly whispering, "Come back." Maybe one day you will. The ocean never stops. It hums, it breathes, it dreams. Long after we're gone, it will keep singing Tofino's name. In a world running fast, Tofino stands still, a small town holding the horizon. It reminds us that wonder isn't far away. It's waiting at the edge, where the land ends and life begins again.